If you feel yourself fatigued and somewhere lost in these trenches that we call fighting gyms, throw away that state and listen to what I had to say to you. For the young fighters that are blasting into the path of self-discipline through boxing or kickboxing, or many of you guys who have already earned some respect in the industry and have their straight vision in it, I can say that I've been there on both sides. I've seen so many different scenarios, fighters and coaches, and that actually leads to having a passionate confidence to be your guide and lead you to the path of prosperity and self-fulfillment with this particular journey that so many young and not so young people choose to pursue. I've been training in Eastern Europe for 11 years, since 2011, particularly in the small country named Latvia. It's quite popular with its tough and straightforward, let's say that way, coaches that push through the narrative of USSR style and its toughness. The last 2 years, I've been really doubling down on passing on the knowledge of different trainers and different environments to the men across the country, specifically in the boxing. So I know how it feels to be knocked out, and I know how it feels to knock someone out. And the second one is ironically more obnoxious than the first one. But we will deep down on that on another video that I will make for you guys. So please be aware of the content that I will post. There's probably 90% chance that it will shift your perspective on many things drastically. So my first time in the old school kickboxing gym was terrible experience, because my dad just left me in the gym when I was 6 years old, and he said, listen to the coach and everything will be fine. And I was standing there in front of approximately 30 people, mostly men around 25 to 30 years old, and some younger fighters, some younger guys that were 15 to 20 years, and I just straight up started to cry. I felt so big of a pain when Dad left me. It really felt like a betrayal. So this old man, the coach, he took me aside and said that real men don't show their emotions, and it's really a shame on me. At that time, I knew that no whining and no crying would fix my positioning. It could only make it worse. A couple of minutes later, I was already in the line with others and taking an action, copying the drills that were shown by that time European champion in front of the group. So many European champions and world champions were produced in the gym just as a product of consistency and principle of using what you already have. Living in the gym, sleeping in the gym, eating, running to the gym, and repeat. Day after day, week after week, and years passing, champions being made, many champions, world and European country champions, local champions. I was also struggling with the dieting. I noticed that a large portion of my body weight is actually cracked. It's fat. I just hit up some of my friends from the gym, and they would just lay down many different short-term dieting plans that they were using, and I simply implemented them into my routine. Your social circle must be your main confidence. Guys, it's simple as it is. But so many people struggle with that. I will talk about it in another time. Many of these diets I give and recommend to my clients and close friends right when we have already tracked all the training routine for them. It was an unpleasant journey in terms of training splits and self accountability. There are always some vices that slow down your journey way up there. Crappy food, bad friends, bad sleep because of hangovers or whatever. You need to bear in mind that these vices aren't leading you nowhere near as far as your discipline and self-trust. Do real Batmen eat shit? Or they eat what is supposed to be eaten? That's a real question. Do they treat their body as blender, or do they treat their body as if they were delicate weapons? The vices are making weak boys that will not be able to hold on their words and will self-sabotage themselves day after day. What is your sequence of actions that you take when you feel anxious or feel some fraction of a depression? Also, I must state that some physically and mentally painful moments must be perceived as an essence of decisions that not many people could handle. For example, my nose has been broken 2 times during the hard sparring sessions before the competition, and it only strengthens my core belief of what's really the pain for us as a humans. I think that most painful decisions are the decisions that lead to irreversible regret. So many broken bones in my palm, barely can squeeze my hand without the bones rubbing against each other. I know that that's only the byproduct of incorrect actions. The methods being taught by the coach were correct, but sometimes you just need to be present in the moment and think of the consequences if you just don't listen properly. So, for those who are searching for good advice from a person who's been in the trenches, don't be delusional with your visions and goals. For me and many other great professionals, it took many years to accomplish what I have accomplished and establish a social circle that I have now access to. Perfect practice makes it perfect, not just a practice. It would be much easier for me or for you to accomplish so many goals if all it took was only raw action. Don't be delusional on that because now I could definitely show those moments and periods in my journey where there wasn't a right attitude and there wasn't any right advice. And those were the periods where I was just spinning circles and going nowhere. But again, right attitude, right people came on my path again, and I was prospering. I was blessed to see real champions in action, and I was standing in their corners and taking parts and sparrings and pad works. That actually gave me the confidence to accumulate the right knowledge. And another question for you, man, out there struggling with your dieting, struggling with your training splits and traumas, would it be harder for you to push forward if you have already been sold on the vision that you created in your mind? That very first day when you made a vision for yourself to be a champion or to be able to stand your pace, sell it one more time to yourself. Besides the confidence and connections, what more actual benefits are there for kickboxing or boxing, but these are the main key takeaways from me as I introduce myself to this online presence. And what are the biggest struggles for you along the way? I would like to hear from you. Are you deciding whether or not to implement the fighting competition side into your life? Talk to you soon, guys. If you have some questions, leave a message on the Instagram and I will back you up with whatever you need.